Part 166. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 1651. Chapter 1651. I'm waiting for a girl. In the video, a reporter interviewed Ye Qingfeng. Mr. Ye, everyone is very concerned about your love issues. I wonder if you are willing to reveal something about it? This question comes up in basically every interview, but Ye Qingfeng will tactfully avoid it. The reporter conducted interviews as usual, but this time Ye Qingfeng did not follow the routine. He stood in front of everyone, spoke into the microphone, and spoke very seriously. He said, "I'm waiting for a girl." Ye Qingfeng's answer was just one sentence, but it was enough to set off a climax. The editor on the internet specially used an eye-catching title. Ye Qingfeng's words really showed that he already has someone he likes. But who does he like? Nobody knows. However, when Bai Jiyu saw this, she almost couldn't hold her phone steady. Ye Qingfeng never answered questions about love affairs in the past, but now that Zuyu is back, he has spoken. It turns out that being alone for so many years is not because I haven't met someone I like, but because I met someone too early when I was young and can no longer fall in love with someone else. He is indeed as dedicated as his father. Then what has she been obsessed with for so many years? Anyway, it can't compare to that woman. She dumped all the cooked dishes into the trash can, put them away, and took them out to throw away. She left a note in the living room, "Brother Qingfeng, I'm going home first." Then she remembered that she had used temporarily staying at Nangongyu's house as an excuse to stay outside for the past few days. She called Nangongyu and was hung up. She thought it was not convenient for her to answer the phone at the moment, so she sent her a text message, "Sister Yu, I'm home." After a while, Nangongyu's phone call came back. Why do you want to go home suddenly?" "Sister Yu, I have no chance." He finally waited until the girl he liked came home. Bai Jiyu did not show any sadness or depression after returning home. She took a nice hot bath, put on a beautiful short skirt in the wardrobe, put on delicate makeup, and curled her hair into big waves. When Kitano saw her, he was so shocked that he couldn't speak. When he recovered, his first words were, "What are you wearing? Change it for me quickly." Bai Jiyu smiled and was not afraid of him. "Daddy, isn't your daughter pretty?" Good looking means really good looking. B has never seen his daughter so stunning, but how can these white and tender arms and these straight and slender legs be shown to others casually? Bai Jiyu waved her hand and asked, "Since it looks good, why should I change it?" B frowned, "You don't want to go out wearing this, do you?" "Yeah, my friend asked me to go out to play. I'll be back later." Kitano Tetsu's face was livid. "I won't allow it. Unless you change your clothes." Bai Jiyu chuckled and said, "Daddy, your daughter is so beautiful. How will others know that you have given birth to such a beautiful daughter without dressing up?" Despite Bai Ye's objection, Bai Jiyu waved goodbye to him. She sent Kitano her address and approximate time to return home. Her roommate asked her to sing in karaoke, but she initially refused. Later, Weibo revealed Ye Qingfeng's relationship, and her roommate called again to invite her, and she immediately accepted. "I don't know what I want to do, so maybe I can use this to relax." "Jiyu, I thought you really weren't coming." The roommate saw her and greeted her warmly. She saw that in addition to 3 roommates, there were 4 boys. "Introduce me, this is my boyfriend. The author has something to say. Please give me a monthly ticket, please leave a message, and please give me a recommendation vote, Kaibeo. This time it will be updated to the end. If there are no accidents, it will be 6K per day." End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Luke Hixie. Chapter 1652. Chapter 1652, Arrange a boyfriend for you. Introduce me, this is my boyfriend. Her college roommates have found boyfriends, but she is still single. I said I could bring my family members with me. Gu, do you mind? I don't mind, I know two of them anyway. Two of the roommates started dating in college, and they both met at school. There is another one that we just talked about recently. As for the boy in the corner, I don't know who it is. Gu's outfit today is so blinding to my eyes. That's not true. She is praised as a goddess without makeup on weekdays, but today she looks even more beautiful with exquisite makeup. The one shoulder short skirt gives people a great visual effect, with a slim waist and impeccable body lines. Paired with that pretty face and wavy hair, she is really and pretty. Falling into someone's eyes, the Adam's apple slides. The roommate joked, back then, our dormitory was known as the pretty dormitory, and you were the most beautiful, Gu, but now you are single. Don't get me wrong, my roommate didn't mean to show off intentionally. Their purpose today is. Gu, this is my boyfriend's brother named Tang Feng. He is also considered half a family member. Do you mind if we all play together? Of course I don't mind. Bei Jiu wanted to find a seat to sit down. All her roommates were sitting next to her boyfriend, and only the brother had an empty seat next to her. She was still hesitating, so her roommate pulled her to sit down and said, Jiu, sit down. What song do you want to sing? I'll get it for you. You guys go ahead and sing. My throat is not feeling well today. She was not in a good state today, so she just wanted to be part of their excitement. During the conversation, her roommates mentioned Tang Feng many times in her ears. Even a fool should know their purpose. Bei Jiu scratched her ears helplessly. These guys couldn't stand her being single, so they rushed to arrange a boyfriend for her? She felt a little embarrassed, so she grabbed the roommate next to her and asked quietly, what do you want to do? Hey, what do you think of Tang Feng? Is it suitable to be your boyfriend? I don't want it. It's not like you don't know that I have someone I like. But you haven't said who you like until now, and I haven't heard any good news from you. Don't fool us. We sincerely hope you will be well. No, 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 I know it well. You should give it a try. Although Tang Feng doesn't like to talk, he is good looking, good at studying, and has a good family background. Forget it, let me go. Bei Jiu rejected the roommate's kindness. But now that we're here today, we can't just run away. Besides, Tang Feng, who was sitting in the corner, also had a sullen temper. Apart from basic greetings, I didn't hear him say anything during the whole process. On the contrary, when we got home, our roommate pushed the two of them together without giving up. My boyfriend and I are leaving first. Me too. Me too. So, Bei Jiu and Tang Feng are left. Tang Feng, I might have to trouble you to send our goddess Jiu home. It's not safe for a girl at this late night. I myself can. Good. Bei Jiu was about to say that she could go back, but was interrupted by Tang Feng's firm words. When the roommate saw this, he smiled with a meaningful expression on his face. The three of them pulled their boyfriends away. Tang Feng suddenly said two words, let's go. Bei Jiu, brother, we don't know each other very well. Why are you acting cool in front of me? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1653. Chapter 1653. How can I get married in the future? Well, I can go home by myself, no need to trouble you, thank you. Out of politeness, Bei Jiu gave Tang Feng a smile. It's okay not to smile. As soon as he smiled, the touching look was deeply imprinted in Tang Feng's eyes. Tang Feng looked distracted. At that moment, he made up his mind. Tang Feng looked at Bei Jiyu seriously and said firmly, "Your roommate entrusted you to me, I must complete the task." Bei Jiyu discovered that Tang Feng was not only boring, but also a stubborn person who would give away whatever he wanted. Bei Jiyu thought for a while and finally got into the car with him. Of course, Bei Jiyu has always been vigilant. When facing strangers, she immediately left her family members with their license plate number and other information. Tang Feng was a serious person and didn't talk much on the way to send her home. They were unlucky. After driving for a while, they found that there was a traffic jam ahead because of a traffic accident. "Well, I wouldn't have bothered you if I had known earlier. I don't know how much time I'm wasting on you now. In fact, I can go back by myself." She just said it casually out of boredom, but Tang Feng listened seriously. He thought for a moment before answering her, "You are so beautiful." "What? You are too beautiful to be safe." Bei Jiyu. So it turns out that the way she is dressed is really unsafe in the eyes of others. But obviously many people dress like this, just like, blessing the moon. When she met Zuyu, she found that she had changed a lot, especially on the rainy day. She saw Zuyu wearing a short skirt with big waves on her head, and her whole person was very elegant. She unknowingly wanted to learn Zuyu. "Perhaps you are crazy." Because he was stuck in traffic and did not arrive home within the budgeted time, Kitano made several phone calls to inquire, as if he was afraid that his daughter was lost. When Tang Feng delivered Zuyu to the door of his house, he saw Beiye guarding him. Zuyu was very moved. "Daddy, I'm back." He ran over and hugged his father to comfort him for a while. Beiye spotted Tang Feng with sharp eyes. Tang Feng came down and politely called out, "Uncle." Bei looked Tang Feng up and down carefully. There was nothing much, and he just urged his daughter to go home. Bei Jiyu was a little speechless at her own father's behavior. Ever since she was a child, anyone of the opposite who came close to her was regarded as an enemy. "Tang Feng, thank you very much for today. You should go home quickly, it's getting late." To avoid embarrassment, Bei Jiyu thanked Tang Feng and quickly pulled Bei away. "Daddy, can you stop showing off to others casually? As soon as you see him, he will be ill-intentioned towards you. Stay away from that man in the future." "Well, let me ask my great father, will your daughter ever get married again? If you find a suitable father, marry him. If you don't have a suitable father, you will be raised for the rest of your life." "Then who do you think is suitable?" Kitano couldn't answer. Bei Jiyu shrugged. She knew this would be the case. After all, his father even disliked Ye Qingfeng, and no one else could compare to Ye Qingfeng. Bei Jiyu thought that Bei would never answer her again, but when she was going up the stairs, Bei suddenly said, "No matter what you say, I can't compare to that boy from Yejia." Ification. Bei Jiyu couldn't help but laugh. So it turns out that in his father's eyes, the most suitable candidate is also Ye Qingfeng? It's a pity that that person does not belong to her. "Daddy, what will happen if I confess my feelings to brother Qingfeng?" The author has something to say. Kitanaguchi is too straight. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lukixi. Chapter 1654. Chapter 1654, Confession to Brother Qingfeng. "Daddy, what will happen if I confess my feelings to brother Qingfeng?" "I don't allow it," Bei retorted without hesitation and started to run away again. Bei Jiyu ran upstairs with a smile. After returning to her room, she took off all disguises. Wearing simple pure white pajamas, her washed long hair is still dripping on her shoulders, and her eyes are slightly red. She sat in front of the mirror for a while, and finally couldn't help but lay down on the dressing table and sobbed. From the moment she heard Ye Qingfeng's words of confession to now, she had been forcing herself to smile for so long, but finally she couldn't help it anymore. She has known Ye Qingfeng since she was a child. How could one not love that boy who was gentle, considerate, and doting on her? She didn't know when she had feelings for Ye Qingfeng, but she was sure that she was the girl in the world who had liked Ye Qingfeng for the longest time besides her relatives. But what's the use? The boy she likes has already met the sunshine in her heart when she was ignorant. Just thinking about it, it's been so many years. She didn't quite understand how Ye Qingfeng and Zhu Yu broke up, and she never dared to mention it, but it doesn't matter now. She opened the group, and the message in the small group with only 4 people had already exploded. Yezhiruo, Nangongyu, and Mo Xiongnuan were all discussing Ye Qingfeng's affairs, and some people liked her. Beijiyu took a brief look at the records. They seemed to support her in confessing her love, and even said that they would help her make excuses. Looking at these heartwarming words, she cried and laughed again, typing words to show that she was reading. Thank you 3 sisters, I have already figured it out and I won't express my feelings. Yezhiruo. Mo Xiongnuan. Nangongyu. He likes Zhu Yu, haven't you figured it out as well as I have? She was unwilling to give up. Ask her to confess her feelings, but she doesn't dare. To express your love now is tantamount to humiliating yourself, and may also affect the relationship between the Bei family and the Ye family. Thinking of this, Beijiyu felt even more aggrieved. After breaking up with Zhu Yu, he never found a girlfriend again, and he never had an affair with anyone. But as soon as Zhu Yu appeared, he announced to the public that he already had someone in his heart. It was so obvious that you couldn't have thought it. Everyone was silent. They are not stupid, they naturally want it. I just don't want Beijiyu's feelings for so many years to go wrong. What are your plans now, Yu? I will still stay and work at Yes Group, after all, it is my own professional internship course. In the end, it was Beijiyu who comforted their hearts. No one in the small group responded gradually. Beijiyu looked at the phone for a long time, but did not wait for a call. I don't know if he saw the note I left. She didn't know if Ye Qingfeng had gone home now, and she even vaguely expected that Ye Qingfeng would give her a concerned phone call when he found out that she was gone. But I didn't expect anything. It's so annoying. Beijiyu threw her cell phone on the dressing table, buried herself in the soft big bed, and fell asleep. Yejia. Mo Xiongnuan sat on the sofa gloomily, holding a pillow. Yezikan and Ye Weiwei, who had just traveled to the world of 2, couldn't help but feel worried when they came back to see their little daughter like this. Under questioning, the good girl Mo Xiongnuan told everything about her eldest brother. Yezikan was calm. Ye Wei was very angry, call your brother back tomorrow. Mommy will teach him a lesson herself. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1655. Chapter 1655. Ye Qingfeng was fine to Standkuk. Mo Xiongnuan immediately contacted Ye Qingfeng, but, Mommy, my brother's phone number can't be reached. I'll fight it myself. Several phone calls went unanswered. About half an hour later, Ye Qingfeng called them back. Ye Weiwei didn't say anything more to him and just told him to go home for dinner tomorrow. Ye Qingfeng is considered a filial son. When his mother personally gives orders, he naturally nods and responds. Mr. Ye, can you show this flower here? Okay. Ye Qingfeng then remembered that he had been busy all night. He sent a message to Beijiyu and did not return home until 3 in the morning. The whole person was in a state of exhaustion. He only saw that the lights in the house were all out, so he went directly upstairs. By the time he saw the note left by Beijiyu, it was already the next day. Brother Qingfeng, I'm home. Thinking of the 2 parents of the Bei family who wanted to take their daughter into their hands, Ye Qingfeng smiled and put the note away without thinking much about it. According to Ye Weiwei's order, Ye Qingfeng went back to Ye's house directly after getting some sleep. Originally, he thought that what awaited him would be a warm hug from his mother and some cute words from his well-behaved sister. Unexpectedly, he was greeted by a cold face. Yes. From the moment he entered the room until now, Ye Wei has never smiled at him. Ye Qingfeng was a little frightened because it was rare to see Ye Wei's expression. Thinking about it, he didn't seem to make any mistakes recently. I wonder what happened? Mommy, I'm back. Well, go and stand at the door. Ye Qingfeng. Finally speaking, he was forced to stand? Even the extremely intelligent Ye Qingfeng could not figure out the meaning. Mommy, what happened? He asked seriously. Ye Wei slowly peeled the melon seeds and waved her hand to him, meaning to tell him to stand at the door and stop talking. Ye Qingfeng touched her nose angrily and went to stand at the door. If outsiders were to see this scene, I'm afraid it would make headlines again. The man who was hailed as a legend in the business world and sought after by many people has actually been reduced to standing in front of his own house without daring to say a word. About half an hour later, Ye Yi was about to doze off while peeling melon seeds, so he stood up and stretched. She waved to Ye Qingfeng, and then called her son over to sit down. Come on. Ye Qingfeng is not tired, but he just doesn't understand the meaning. Mommy, what happened, or did my son make a mistake somewhere? You are right. Facing the calm Ye Qingfeng almost lost his ability to smile. That's right. Why are you still asking me to stand? I heard that you have made your relationship public. Who did you listen to? You may have misunderstood. This is what is written on Weibo. Ye Qingfeng felt confused. He knew that the news he broke would arouse everyone's discussion, but he was busy yesterday and had no time to care about it, because he was implementing an extremely important plan. Mommy, the news on the internet is 30% true and 70% false, so just listen to it. But what you said about waiting for a girl is true, right? Not false. Then you still say no. Ye Wei stood up excitedly. Ye Qingfeng hurriedly helped her sit down. Mommy, don't be excited. Haven't you always hoped that I could find a suitable relationship? Why are you so angry after I said a word? Can I not be angry? When you separated from that Zuyu, you didn't say a word for so many years, and you confessed your love to others when you came back. The author has something to say. Ring our little bell like crazy. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1656. Chapter 1656. I finally know that he likes Bai Jiyu. Who said I wanted to confess to her? Ye Qingfeng was surprised. Ye Wei almost jumped up with excitement again. Then what do you mean? Mommy, calm down. Ye Wei exhaled heavily, sat back in the chair, closed his eyes, and waited for his next words. Ye Qingfeng finally figured it out. It turned out to be a misunderstanding that he was confessing to Zuyu. What I said to the reporter is true, but I didn't say it to Zuyu. Who is that? Ye Qingfeng suddenly fell silent. Ye Wei opened her eyes suddenly, with a look of joy on her face. She thought about it. Is it Xiao Yu? Sure enough, Ye Qingfeng's face showed a touch of tenderness. This time he nodded and responded in a low voice, yes. Ye Wei laughed so much that he couldn't stop laughing. She picked up the melon seeds and moved the chair to Ye Qingfeng, ready to listen to the story. Son, you can do it. You can hide it really deep. Come on, tell mommy, when did you start? But in just a moment, Ye Qingfeng had already calmed down his exposed emotions, and the calm expression on his face made it impossible for anyone to guess what he was thinking. Mommy, I have my own arrangements. If there is nothing on your side, I will leave first. Oh, are you leaving now? Yes, there are still some things that have not been dealt with. It was probably to express to her that she has been a little busy recently. I was not in a hurry, and waited until he stepped out of the door before speaking. You don't even want to hear about Xiao Yuer. Ye Qingfeng retracted her foot in seconds. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Seeing him like this, Ye Wei knew that his son was in trouble. Ye Wei couldn't help but tease him. You hide it so well, no one knows that it's Xiao Yuer you're interested in. Ye Qingfeng couldn't help but frown. Don't you even know? Does he think he acted very obviously? I asked you before, but you avoided talking. Hearing this, Ye Qingfeng frowned even deeper. The little girl was only that old before, and every time Kitano saw him it was like seeing a human trafficker, so he was afraid that he would scare people away if he revealed something. It's really pitiful that we, Xiao Yuer, have been sad for you for so long. It makes us heartbroken when we look at it. I sighed helplessly. Ye Qingfeng's whole heart was raised. What do you mean? What do I mean? You don't know. Mommy, please make it clear. I gave him a look of disdain. What did you do wrong that you don't know about? Well. Ye Qingfeng felt that he had encountered a problem of the century. If he knew it, would he still need to ask? 10 minutes later, Ye Qingfeng ran out of Ye's house. Ye Wei looked at his hurried away figure, and the big stone in his heart finally fell. She took a sip of tea slowly and wiped her mouth. Having been going around in circles for so long, it turns out that the people who like each other are right beside us. Ye Qingfeng asked the Human Resources Department to check the attendance record, and the record clearly showed that Bai Jiyu had returned to the company to work. He drove to the company at the maximum speed, like a young boy who had just fallen in love, completely lacking his usual maturity and poise. He couldn't wait to go to the design department to find someone, but was told that Bai Jiyu and Zuyu, the head of Cocoa Company, left the company half an hour ago. Everyone thought it was a work matter and didn't pay much attention to it. Ye Qingfeng impatiently contacted the number he knew by heart. The author has something to say. A person with a high IQ can also be a fool. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1657. Chapter 1657. I treat you like a white lotus to disgust you. Bai Jiyu was sitting face to face with Zuyu drinking tea when she saw Ye Qingfeng coming. She didn't know why Zuyu invited her out today, or did he want to show off? Miss Zhu, if you have anything to say, just tell me. Zuyu didn't answer and asked instead, aren't you going to answer the phone? Bai Jiyu smiled faintly and tapped the screen of her phone on the table. She was afraid that if she accepted the call, she would lose control of her emotions. She doesn't want to embarrass herself in front of Zuyu. I know, you like Ye Qingfeng. So what, after all, she was born as an eldest lady. Even if her heart is already fragile, she will never show her weak side in front of the enemy easily. Zuyu admired her, and even remembered that night, the little girl was standing across the street and was caught in a lot of rain. Zuyu gently put down the teacup and said in a leisurely manner, that night, I saw you. Bai Jiyu took a deep breath. Her love rival saw through her heart, and she suddenly felt a cold air sweeping through her body. She was never willing to bow to anyone, let alone Zuyu. Do you know why Ye Qingfeng and I broke up? After thinking about it, Zuyu added another sentence, oh, I forgot, you were still young and didn't know what love was. So you're here to show off to me. I really want to show off. Bai Jiyu bit her lip. Zuyu wanted to laugh a little when she saw the sadness she was trying to hide but inadvertently showing. It's not that I'm making fun of you, I just feel that some people are so blessed in life that they don't know how to be blessed. It seems that the little girl still doesn't know the man's true intentions. The red lips are light, and Zuyu Kao has a light whisper, and he speaks his inner words brightly. I come back this time and want to reunite with the night breeze. Hearing this, Beiji finally couldn't bear it anymore, slapped the table and stood up. She finally knew that Zuyu came here to show off. Did he want to her off? Zuyu, I don't love you for what you said, and there is no need for you to beep in front of me. Doesn't brother Qingfen like you? If you have the ability, just tell him. Beiji was extremely angry. Besides, what do you have to show off? You have been separated for so many years. Do you know what brother Qingfen has experienced? I grew up with brother Qingfen. No one can love him more than me, and the time I spend with him is also you can never make it up. I would like to ask, you came back to get back together, so are you reconciled with brother Qingfen now? If you push me, I will run in front of him and make trouble, just like a white lotus to disgust you. What can you do with it? What should I do? I dropped 2 paragraphs without even taking a breath. Beiji opened her red wallet, took out 2 bright-colored bills, put them on the table, and turned around to leave. However, Zuyu's next sentence successfully stopped her in her tracks. Beiji, what if I say that he likes someone else? Beiji turned her back to her, her fingers holding the red wallet trembling slightly. There can't be anyone else. In so many years, only Zuyu has appeared. So, there cannot be anyone else. Beiji, you are so timid. You have had a crush on someone for so many years, but you dare not reveal your feelings to him. Aren't you tired? Nothing to do with you. Zuyu counted the time and turned to look out the window. Sure enough, she saw that familiar figure getting out of the car and heading straight to the tea house. Look, he's coming. The author has something to say. My little Yu is so cute. She actually fooled her love rival into thinking that she wanted to be a white lotus. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1658. Chapter 1658. Goodbye, the boy I once loved. Ye Qingfeng came and was face to face with Beiji. Beiji heart beat faster, as if his body was not controlled by his thoughts. Her mind was so messed up now that she didn't even know what she was thinking. When Ye Qingfeng saw her, he wanted to hold her hand as usual, but Beiji subconsciously avoided it. What's wrong with you? Who is brother Qingfeng looking for? Ye Qingfeng only then noticed Zuyu's presence and couldn't help but frown. Just now Beiji refused to answer the phone. It was Zuyu who sent him the address. Now that Beiji is avoiding herself, it must be related to Zuyu. Bless the moon. He no longer called her the polite but familiar Miss Zhu, but the full name was harsh and jarring on his ears. Zuyu's heart felt like a needle pricking her heart, but she didn't show it. And when Beiji heard him calling Zuyu's name, she didn't think about it for a moment. She just had a sour feeling as if she had drank a whole bottle of vinegar. She snorted softly and left angrily. Ye Qingfeng, who was confused throughout the whole process, turned around and chased after her. Regardless of his identity, he completely lost his usual calmness. Zuyu saw the 2 people pulling each other through the glass window, and her eyes became more and more sour. She remembered that rainy night. She used Beiji name in exchange for a moment of solitude with Ye Qingfeng. Who knew that the seemingly gentle man could be so ruthless when he rejected others? She asked him, no one could fall into your eyes, Ye Qingfeng, but you let me be your girlfriend. Is it because of my name? Because the only thing Ye Qingfeng ever praised her for was, your name is very nice. She thought, what sounded good was not wish the moon, but just the word. Zuyu will never forget the tenderness and determination in Ye Qingfeng's eyes when talking about Beiji. From that moment on, she understood that she had no chance of intervening. You have liked Beiji for a long time, right? You have been by her side since childhood. As an older brother, you are not willing to do it, right? Why don't you express your feelings to her directly? Are you afraid? Are you scared too? That night, She asked Ye Qingfeng many questions. But in fact, Ye Qingfeng only really answered her with 2 sentences. One sentence is, "We have no relationship." The second sentence is, "I have waited until my girl grows up." Bei Jiyu was just a little girl at the beginning. Maybe the young Ye Qingfeng didn't realize his feelings, but later he understood, so he kept waiting for Bei Jiyu to grow up. So, at that press conference, he confessed his love to his girl in front of the whole world. But Ye Qingfeng, who has a high IQ, is sometimes inaccurate. He probably never thought that Bei Jiyu would misunderstand. That silly girl is still sad now. Zhu Yu admitted that she was still a little unwilling after all these years, so she asked Bei Jiyu out to scare Ye Qingfeng and let him try the feeling of fear. Now that her goal has been achieved, let time erase the past. The last time, she sent Ye Qingfeng a text message in a private name, "The girl you like is really happy." Coming out of the tea house, Zhu Yu looked up at the clear blue sky and white clouds, wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes, and suddenly felt relaxed. Bye now. Farewell, the boy I once truly loved. The new book Little Cutie You Are Arrested is being serialized. I hope Kaibao friends will support it. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1659. Chapter 1659 I Like You. Bei Jiyu was in a bad mood. She was so sad and angry that she lost her ability to think. Without even thinking about it carefully, why did Ye Qingfeng abandon Zhu Yu and chase her out? Did Zhu Yu say something to you that made you unhappy? I'm not happy. Do you still care? I don't know if I can say this to myself. Ye Qingfeng was also anxious. After all, she was the little princess that she had carefully held in her hands for so many years. At this time, she was afraid that she would make a wrong step and scare her away. Ye Qingfeng caught up with her, put his hands on her shoulders, and stared at her seriously. You can tell me if you are unhappy. Isn't this what we agreed? The man's voice was still urgent, and when Bei Jiyu raised her head, she could still see the thin beads of sweat on his forehead. Perhaps I was walking in a hurry just now, and I was anxious, so I was sweating. Her look reflected in his eyes was full of worry. Bei Jiyu stared at his face quietly for a while, then suddenly squatted down on the spot, hugged her knees with her hands and buried her head in it, crying softly. Everyone in Ye Qingfeng is stupid. Over the years he has been in the shopping mall, he has encountered countless difficulties, but there has never been any problem that has been more difficult for him than the scene in front of him. Xiao Yu, don't cry. Did my brother do something wrong? He was meant to be gentle and coaxing, but when Bei Jiyu heard what he called himself, she cried even harder. You don't even like me, why are you so nice to me? She was crying and talking a little unclearly. Ye Qingfeng didn't have the time to figure out what like in her words meant, and just coaxed her as before. But this time Bei Jiyu's sadness was different, and it couldn't be coaxed by just a few words. People passing by couldn't help but turn around and look around. Ye Qingfeng picked her up and put her in the car. Bei Jiyu sat on the car seat, still crying. She cried and coughed. Ye Qingfeng patted her on the back and said kind words to comfort her. Bei Jiyu sobbed for a long time before finally speaking out and shouting, Brother Qingfeng. Say it. I will never wish you and Zhu Yu happiness. Ye Qingfeng heard her crying words and immediately felt dumbfounded. Who wants you to bless me and Zhu Yu? I have nothing to do with her. You still want to lie to me, and you have confessed your love publicly. Thinking of the video footage she saw on the internet, Bei Jiyu felt uncomfortable again. Ye Qingfeng declared again, I'm not confessing to her. The question followed along with the cry, Yua. Who else could it be but her? Ye Qingfeng held her little face with both hands, asked her to face him, and asked in an extremely serious tone, "Don't you know who I have been good to over the years?" Bei Jiyu's crying suddenly stopped. Over the years, apart from his relatives, the girls who stayed with him the most were her and Nangong Yu. Is it possible? Bei Jiyu seemed to have thought of something, her face turned pale, and she asked in a trembling voice, "Could it be that, the person you like is Sister Yu?" She thought a lot at that moment. If the person Ye Qingfeng liked was Nangong Yu, she would not be able to treat Nangong Yu like she rejected Zhu Yu. But it would be really uncomfortable for her to see the man she has had a crush on for so many years with the sister she likes. As everyone knows, Ye Qingfeng is almost driven crazy by her open mind. Bei Jiyu, I really doubt that you are angry with me on purpose. End of this chapter. My green plums are super sweet. Author, Lu Kixi. Chapter 1660. Chapter 1660. The first kiss is long gone. Hearing that his voice was much more fierce than usual, Bei Jiyu felt aggrieved again. You still yell at me, you really don't like me anymore. Ye Qingfeng sighed heavily. He really had no way to deal with Bei Jiyu. Listen, the person I confessed to in front of the whole world that day was not Zhu Yu, let alone Nangong Yu, but you. Oh. Bei Jiyu responded casually. On the contrary, Ye Qingfeng was frightened by her dull reaction. He was afraid that he was expressing the wrong feelings and even suspected that his mother had deceived him. In fact, Bei Jiyu didn't have a relationship with him at all. Just when Ye Qingfeng had doubts about himself. Ah! Bei Jiyu stood up excitedly and hit the roof of the car with a bang sound. The pain caused her to shed tears again. But the pain was not important to her. What's important is the sentence she just heard. Isn't it an auditory hallucination? Brother Qingfeng, what did you just say? Who did you say you confessed to? You. Who? Northern Jiyu. Bei Jiyu opened her mouth in shock and leaned her head back on the car seat. This is probably the most difficult truth she has heard since she was born. I can't believe that the person I have had a crush on for more than 10 years and dare not confess to him actually said he likes her? Bei Jiyu raised her hand and pinched herself hard. The pain was clear and real, indicating that she was not dreaming. She raised her head and stared blankly at Ye Qingfeng, muttering softly, "How could you, like me? My little Yu is so kind, it's normal to like you." Ye Qingfeng squeezed her hand gently and held it tightly. Wrapping those slightly cold hands seems to surround the person. Ye Qingfeng's thinking gradually became clear. He has been in a daze since meeting Ye Wei, because Ye Wei told him, "Xiao Yu has always liked you. Everyone knows it, why didn't you find out?" He was also very upset as to why he had not discovered it earlier. He knew that Bei Jiyu cared about him very much, but even though he was as smart as Ye Qingfeng, he was not sure whether Bei Jiyu cared about him because of his possessiveness since childhood, or something else. The appearance of Zhu Yu is probably an opportunity. Bei Jiyu's reaction made him faintly happy, and finally he couldn't hold it any longer, so he used the reporter's interview to start planning. He had been waiting for the little girl to grow up. No one would have thought that Ye Qingfeng, who is so aloof, would also be afraid, right? He was afraid that the age difference between him and Bei Jiyu was too big, and that Bei Jiyu would be far away from or even disgusted with him if he knew it. Because of fear, he has always hidden his heart deeply. But now he is relieved. It turns out that he is not just being sentimental. The breeze and the moon, are destined to be together, aren't they? The man's gentle voice seemed like he was drowning. Bei Jiyu stared at him, her heart pounding. A bold idea suddenly came into her mind, and she turned over and kissed Ye Qingfeng. The first kiss is gone. She muttered something softly, which happened to fall into Ye Qingfeng's ears. She didn't see a different smile flashing in the man's eyes. Is there such a thing as a first kiss? She used to stay by his side so many times, and even often rested and slept next to him. He is not a saint. Is there such a thing as a first kiss? It's long gone. End of this chapter.